Almost everybody who has been successful, they've done this alone, on their own. They've been self-made. Have you heard that before? Well, some people say that, but here's the thing, that's a lie. If you're a coach whose heart is really in this, you need to build a business. If you haven't hit six-figure yet, the main marketing you need is to just get in front of people, whether that's online or in person or a mix of the two. After that, almost everything you do will be sales. All right, excited to be here. This is going to be a solo podcast. My co-hosts are doing all sorts of other important things. So I wanted to jump on and do a solo podcast that you're going to enjoy a lot. And the title I have put for this one is 6 Things. Don't do these 6 things to fail as a business owner. I got this idea from another trainer who did this, and I really liked how he approached it. And I'm going to speak in the negative. Don't do it, because a lot of people will do it if you tell them not to do it, or whatever the psychological reason behind this is. I'll talk about 6 key areas for you not to do. Do not do these things. The first one being, don't study sales and apply. And they're in no particular order. I think they're all important. They're all part of it. So I'm just going through my thoughts based on these. So the first one is, don't study sales and apply. So what does that mean? As a coach and as a business owner, do not study sales on a consistent basis and apply it, which means that don't be on sales calls, don't reach out to people, don't have a process for sales. Don't do it if you really want to fail as a business owner. And I'll speak to the other side of it. There are a lot of people who, coaches who'll be like, you know what, I didn't come into this because I'm a salesperson or a business owner. My heart is in this. I want to serve people. Well, guess what? That's the medium by which you serve people. Sales is an essential part of your business. If you're not doing this, then you're struggling. But don't do it. Do not do this. The next one is, don't have an organization or strategic plan. It's one of those things that a lot of people don't do, but make sure you don't do it. That means that don't organize your calendar, show up reactionarily, just show up that day, start asking, well, what am I going to do today? Or just do random things put random things on your calendar, pretend like you're busy all the time. So don't be strategic. Don't organize yourself, whether it's in your physical space or your calendar or your life in general. Don't do that, because that will make you be successful. And we don't want to be successful in business and as a coach, right? Is that what it is? All right. So we'll go to the next one. Don't get a coach and a community support. Make sure you do this alone, because almost everybody who has been successful, they've done this alone, on their own. They've been self-made. Have you heard that before? Well, some people say that, but here's the thing, that's a lie. But make sure you don't do this if you really want to fail. Because if you really want to fail, make sure you don't ask for support, you don't join a community, don't get a coach for you to be supported. And at least I figured out that part in the first couple of years where I was failing, so I wasn't doing that. And I was very clear, the correlation between the two was that I didn't have a coach, I didn't have a lot of community support, or I didn't ask for support, so I consistently failed. So yes, success and failure. So make sure you don't hire a coach and don't hire a community or support. And that's one of the things that we do in our community. So make sure you don't join our community, because one of the things that we do is actually support our clients consistently while they're building their coaching business. And what's unique about us is that we're not just coaches who train other coaches. My primary business is actually serving my clients who are not coaches. They're investors and business owners from different fields. And I've worked with a wide range of people. And to this day, a huge amount of my revenue comes from that source. Later on, I got into mentoring because a lot of coaches started asking me for support, and that seemed like a natural path for me to go on. But there are a lot of coaches or mentors who have never built a coaching business, but they're helping you build one. And you might say that, well, if they understand business, they can help me do this. But coaching field is a little bit different. And if you're ever going to hire a business coach, make sure you hire one that has done coaching in the past. But since I'm talking about the don't piece, make sure you don't hire a coach, make sure you don't join our community, and make sure you don't do any of that stuff. But if you do change your mind and you want to be successful, The link to join our community will be below. It's coachingmasterycommunity.com. Well, I'm actually enjoying this part. So the don't part. Don't improve the quality of your coaching. So what does that mean? That means make sure you don't get feedback for your coaching process. Pretend like you're the best coach there is, and the only problem in the world is that people just don't know how amazing you are. And make sure you don't ask other coaches who are experienced to give you feedback on your coaching process. Make sure you don't listen to your calls yourself. Make sure you don't ask for feedback from your clients. Make sure you don't ask for feedback from anybody, because you're amazing. And that's a perfect formula to go towards failure as a coach. And the next one, don't be around other business owners. And I can tell you this, that as a coach, I'm also a business owner. In fact, I've had to own the role as a business owner more and more as I've developed my coaching. And that's natural, because if I want to promote my coaching, if I want to serve other people, I need to be to get better and better at business. What does that mean? That means that if I'm better at business, I can share my services with other people. I know how to do that. I can take people through my process confidently and help them understand what my services are and help them get the support that they need. That's what that means. That's all. And if you're a coach whose heart is really in this, you need to build a business. And if you're not doing that and you're telling yourself this story that, you know what, you can do this without a business, well, the problem is that the industry is not actually built, so you can't be hired as a employee or as a contractor as easily as you might think. Now, there are companies, mind you, and we hire coaches as well, but most of them will hire experienced coaches. Most of them will want you to have at least a year or 2 years of experience, which means, or you've worked with at least 100 clients, something like that, which if you knew how to do that, I don't know why you would go to those people to begin with. So I don't know how that works. With us, we actually hire people, coaches from our community. So it's a supplement to what they're doing. As they're building their business system, they're also working with us as contractors, which supports them and it supports us to serve our clients. But and the key here is that if you don't hang out with other business owners who are not talking about leads, we're talking about leads, marketing, how they're getting clients, how they're structuring their offers, how they're improving their conversion rates, all that stuff. If you're not doing that, more than likely you're failing. So make sure you keep doing that, and make sure you don't hang out around other business owners. And by the way, make sure you do hang out with coaches who pretend like they're not business owners, because that will also help you be a failure. But the key here is to make sure you never be around business owners, because that will almost guarantee that you're a failure as a business owner. And I guess that's what we're saying, that's what you want, right? All right. The last one is don't track data. And what do I mean? And one of the things that I've learned is when I started out as a business owner, I used to base most things on my emotions. So what does that mean? I would wake up in the morning, I would check in how I would feel, be like, based on how I felt, I would either do sales, or I would work on my website, or I would work on my social media or something else. My feelings drove a lot of things. My emotions drove a lot of things. Here's the problem with that. Emotions are temporary. They change moment to moment, and they're reactionary to a lot of things. Nothing wrong with emotions. We all need to process it. We all need to make sense of it. We all need to understand the why behind the emotions, or at the least process it, and then understand what meaning are we assigning to these emotions, and how are we reacting to them? Are we being proactive? And that's the point of emotional intelligence, is that you're able to process your emotions and operate optimally despite having emotions that hold you back, despite having emotions that doesn't allow you to move forward, that don't allow you to move forward. Now, what I didn't do was that I didn't track a lot of data. So what would happen is I didn't track my leads, I didn't track my time, I didn't track my finances, I didn't track my energy. And because I didn't do that, I would end up with my own emotions, which was usually overwhelm. And overwhelm, as you know, if you've studied the human brain enough, that is a different part of our brain that gets engaged with that. That's our hindbrain, mammalian brain, versus the conscious or prefrontal cortex that does all the strategic thinking. So if you want to fail as a business owner, please don't track any data. Don't track your time. Don't track your energy. Don't track your finances. And please do not track your leads. Don't reach out to people. Don't follow up with people. Don't do any of that. Because if you did that, you'd be successful. And we don't want that, do we? And so let me summarize here, and I'll give you a final summary around this too. The 6 areas I talked about is, first, don't study sales and apply it. That means don't be on calls and don't keep improving your sales process and build a system. Don't have an organization strategic planning system in place. Don't hire a coach in a community to support you or find support for yourself. Don't improve the quality of your coaching consistently, which is, God forbid, that's going to make you succeed. Don't be around other business owners to learn from them and get feedback. And finally, don't track data, whether that's your time, energy, finances, and other things. And I know I'm being a little bit funny here and trying to get you to engage with this a little bit differently. But really, the idea is that I want you to remember how important it is to actually do those things if you want to succeed. But if you want to fail, then follow my advice today. And the key here is, I actually spoke at a conference, well, not a conference, in Brendan Burchard's community, who does certified high performance coaching. He runs a certification for that, and he's a very well-known figure. And I spoke at his community, and the main thing that kept coming up, and I wanted to talk about the sales process, because a lot of coaches get stuck with marketing and all sorts of stuff that come with. And if you haven't hit 6-figure yet, the main marketing you need is to just get in front of people, whether that's online or in person or a mix of the two. After that, almost everything you do will be sales, which means that you'll be either one-to-one or one-to-many that you're going to sell, one-to-a-few that you're going to sell, not one-to-many, which we do with marketing. But for the most part, most coaches that I know that are starting out, all they need is about 10 clients at a high ticket rate. And that requires them to understand the sales process. That requires them to improve the quality of their coaching. That requires them to be around other business owners, especially in the current economy, to learn from them. That requires them to get organized and get feedback, get a coach to help them move forward. Yes, as a coach, you need a coach. That requires them to study sales consistently, read books on sales as much as they do on personal development and other things. And apply it, not just read it, but actually apply it and really talk to people and build a sales process, a system that helps them. And they really try to build some kind of tracking data for themselves. And what you might need is very simple. If you're starting out, you might just need a Excel tracking sheet that you build on your own, or get Trello, which is free. And you might just need some way to track your finances, look at it every week. And you just need a way, like a calendar system, to track your time, where it's going, and you're analyzing that consistently. But if you really want to fail as a business owner and a coach, make sure you don't do any of that stuff. And I'd love to hear your perspective on this. I know this was a short podcast, but I wanted to make it really powerful, short, to the point. And if these things can stick in your mind, even if it's on the negative side, it'll help you gain a little bit of a motivation to do some of these things, to go reach out to people, to go connect with other business owners, to follow up with leads, build some kind of system, some kind of tracking sheet, and start being more strategic versus reactionarily. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. What was the thing that stuck out for you? What was your biggest insight? And if you really want to join our community because you want to be successful and you don't want to follow any of my advice, then you will find the link below. And until our next podcast, hope you have an incredible day. Bye.